Okay, here we go. Cue the classical music. Would that be good if it was like dun dun
I was
dun
gonna say sleep.
dun 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 dun? And then I'm smoking a pipe.
Yeah. I'm letting
Welcome to Hooded Chat.
That's what.
Today we discuss how AI affects the baboon's bottom, turning it purple.
Just to make it, yes. By some hue changes. With the help of nanotechnology.
I'll do it for
Okay,
real.
go ahead.
With medical
reslate.
technology. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Holy Chat.
Holy
I'm
Chat.
Levi Dugan.
I'm Maddy Daymickle, and today we are talking about technology and what it is and kind of how it affects us.
Isn't that exciting? And,
What is technology, Carlos?
well, back in
back, in,
back in the day,
back in your childhood.
yes, and somebody's knocking at my door.
That's technology.
It has technology for you right there. Using
If
my
we could
phone
get
to
that sound
record.
every time we
Yes.
say technology.
So anyway, I'm not necessarily gonna give you the definition of technology because I'm not necessarily prepared for that. But what I can tell you is that I've been being a little bit over ambitious lately, and the technological revolution has piqued my interest quite a bit since I would say 2015. I read an article from the Atlantic that you can go and find it if you want to. It's called The End of Work. And it was the first time that I heard about automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence, AI, and that revolution eventually, and according to that article, it was posing the question, what would happen in a reality where robotics will be so advanced that a lot of repetitive work will be done by machines, where technology and AI particularly will be as smart, if not smarter than us. So what will be the role of humans in that scenario? So again, this is 2015, the Atlantic magazine, and that started the path of darkness for me. So
That was scary, wasn't it?
No. The next book that I read was The Future of the Mind by Michio Kaku. This is a 2014 book, and posed a lot of great developments in technology, like the future of space travel. It says because we humans are so puny, our bodies cannot handle, a lot of things. He said that in the future, nanotechnology will be, he poses like there will be a beam of light that will push nanobots to whatever we want to be in the galaxy or in the solar system or galaxy, and then the destination, those nanobots will come up, form together, and form a something that will start to interact with the planet
Wherever we visited. So we have all these tiny machines that fly through light
Yes.
and time and
Yes.
space
Yes.
to wherever we want to go, and then they assemble to create some humanoid thing or something that's going to interact.
Correct.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Again, this is 2014 as
Yeah.
Michio Kaku. The other
That's
one was that at the time they were developing some form of machine that you will, put it like a helmet, and you can control with your thoughts certain things. This is very rudimentary at the time, but that you can do that. And I will get there in a moment here. I will tell you that. Other research about the brain, many other things in this. So there was the next kind of jump into the whole thing of this, again, technological revolution that is happening and was happening at the time. Again, this is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Then the next book that I read was 1,000 Brains, and this is by Jeff Hawkins, and he is a brain researcher.
Brain researcher.
Yeah. So he he did all these kinds of things about studying the brain, how the brain works, and the neural networks and things. So that then how to mimic that to make a machine.
Oh,
that's crazy.
What could go wrong?
Right.
Yeah.
To AI, basically,
Yeah.
that's what it is. So, this is 2019, I think, if I remember correctly. So, in this book, he poses that it will be soon, where machines will be able to computate as fast as brains, and then we will have the capacity to mimic a human brain. So that was the next one. So if you ever want to do like how this AI came to be, is the theory of intelligence, is the Thousand Brains. It's a great book to go about it. I think it is a good book to
And it doesn't look too big. So
it is not too big.
You can handle it,
Maybe
It's about, I don't know.
thick on mentally. But
Oh, you mean the content is difficult, but
There's
there's not that much of it, so you can
it
digest
just makes you think about it more.
Yes.
It's perfect for me.
It moves kind of fast, but
Yeah.
I think it's a fascinating thing, and what he poses is fascinating. So anyway,
He's got to go through 1,000 brains
It's
in the
1,000
story.
brains. I know. Then the next book that I read was Chip War.
Chip War.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
CHIP War. And this is if you are into history and want to know all about how technology, in the sense of our modern technology after the war, happened, and the revolution on microchips, and how we have watches this size, and this fast computation stuff that I can be recording on my phone. I'm recording on my phone and can control it from here and everything. This is the book to read. And I will give you, for instance, there are only 3 foundries in the world that can create the microchips that we use for our. So one is in Taiwan. That is why Taiwan is so important in the larger scheme of geopolitical stuff. The other one is South Korea and Samsung, and the other one is in the Netherlands.
Oh my gosh.
And that's it.
I had no idea.
When I learned that was game changer for me. And
How so? Like it helped you realize
it's
things
just
about
like
the world, or
why political things are happening, because there are only 3 places that know how to do it, and they don't share anything with anybody. And even with those 3 factories, like they still are like exporting things like just to each other. And so it's another interesting fact of like technology and the way it affects political and conflict.
The crazy thing is that the CEO of TNC, can't remember the name of it, in Taiwan, the foundry, wanted to start it here in the USA. He wanted to do it here with Texas Instruments. And Texas Instruments said, because his idea was, his business model was, we don't have to design the chips, we just manufacture them. We don't have, no, and Texas Instruments at the time said, no, we don't want to do that, we want to create them, come up with it. So he says, that's not the future. So he took his stuff and went to Taiwan.
wow.
And then
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
So anyway, all this. This one, and I will give you the other one. My latest readings is both say that Moore's law. Have you heard of a Moore's law?
I've heard that. Yeah,
I've
I've heard
heard
about
it.
it.
It was a researcher.
It's bad English, but
So the idea is that every 2 years, microchips will get smaller and faster. It will grow exponentially in capacity. So that has happened since the 40s, basically, the end of the war, until I would say 2023. And this book, Chip War, The Singularity is Nearer, and The Thinking Machine, all of them say that is dead by now, that Moore's law is dead. And I will tell you why.
Okay.
All right. So then the next book that I read was The Singularity is Near and The Singularity is Nearer. So this was written in the 2010s, teens, something like that, and this was written in the 2024-3, and so he's a revisit of his book.
Oh, okay.
So he poses here that I don't know if you have, the singularity is when humans can merge with AI, with robotics. In this book, in the singularity is near, he predicted that it's going to happen 2050, something like that. In this one, he says in the 2030s, this is going to happen. As early as 2029, he says that we will have the technology ready to do that. And what it means is that we will be able to upload ourselves to the cloud.
That's crazy.
And we will, and he advocates both of them, the Thousand Brains, Jeff Watkins and Kurzweil, both say that is the next step in humans that be altered by technology, to be one with the technology, right? That's what it is. And with that, I say that Tesla is now implanting microchips you can control objects and move things with your thoughts. It's a thing. So if you go to Neuralink, is owned by Tesla. You can apply even if you want to be a test subject, and you can do that.
Oh my gosh!
And the
I'll opt out of that.
but it is, for somebody who has who's injured or who suffered.
Okay.
Somebody who has cannot move.
If you're assuming positive intent, that is
one
way to look at it.
Yeah.
That's what. Again, you go to Neuralink, and you can find it. And the other one is the other Neuralink that is happening is military. And that, as far obviously is highly classified, but as far as I know, it is not invasive. But the idea is that the person who's wearing the Neuralink will be able to connect with weapon systems and defense systems and be one with all the tech around defense. And DARPA is working on that, so which is defense, the R&D of the government. So anyway, that is Kurzweil, and singularity is nearer. So again, 2030. That is again, if you want to know when we merge with AI and how that looks like, how they envision that's going to look like, 1,000 Brains and Singularity is Nearer. To me, that is the book that you need to read, because as they say, you will have to make a choice, and we can talk maybe later on in later episodes. He says that we humans will have to make the decision to be, if we want to be a human fundamentalist, meaning a human that will not be altered by technology in any way. However, Kurzweil will argue, says if you do that, you're going to be left behind because, as he says, brain altered by technology, nanotechnology, whatever technology is available, that is not altered by that, cannot compete with just a human. So that is the question. And the latest one that I have read is The Thinking Machine, Jensen Huang, which is the CEO and co-founder of NVIDIA. It's a great book if you want to know this next tech revolution, and this is why we have AI. Because, and again, that is why the Moore's law, most people, well, again, these guys say is dead. Because, so the analogy that they use it is, if you want to deliver information in Moore's law, is that you imagine you have a highway that's going one direction, you have all these semis with all this lot of information going one way and going very fast, and then every 2 years going faster and faster and faster and faster, and that's how you deliver information. But what Jensen Huang and NVIDIA did is the parallel computing. So the idea is that imagine instead of just one highway delivering semis one way, imagine millions of tiny little bikes delivering information all at the same time in different places at the same time.
It reminds me of how a brain works.
That's how the brain works.
Yeah.
So that is the next. That is why, Intel, you don't hear anymore about Intel because they say Intel is in serious trouble because they kept with Moore's law and just Jensen Huang in NVIDIA just created an alternative thing, GPUs and everything. So anyway, we have now computing, Willow. Have you heard about Google Willow?
I have not.
So is the first computer, I don't know if the first, but definitely is a supercomputer, nano computer that uses the atoms to transmit information, kind of like Mother Nature does with photosynthesis. And they Willow did a computation that would have taken 7 septillion years. So
Oh my gosh.
in 5 minutes.
Wow.
So the only problem right now is that it has to be in absolute zero, the computer, because if it's not in absolute zero, you cannot do the computations.
It's
So-
just because the energy it uses, it's so hot, so it's got to be cool.
Right, and so they have to figure out how, because
Yeah.
Mother Nature does it as temperature,
Yeah.
So how that happens? So let's start figuring that one out. But then the computer is a thing. As I said, the generative AI, of course, is a thing right now. But they're looking into general AI. And what he would say, what the Thousand Brains guy would say, is that the way to do general AI. So generative AI is based on a statistical analysis. That's what it is. So right now, if you go to any chatbot, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever other that you may like and choose, if you say, define a cat, it does not know what a cat is. It gives you the most probable result statistically. That's what it is. That's what generative AI is. So they need a
It
large
describes a cat, but it doesn't actually.
It
know
pulls
what
the
a cat is.
information
Right.
and then says, here's what it says.
Right. And so statistically, it will give you the most probable correct answer. And therefore, that's why it needs this massive amount of data to create a response.
Gotcha. Which, I mean, if we're honest, we do the same thing. We define a cat by having seen lots of cats and lots of other animals and know that this animal doesn't look like those animals. So we're doing a statistical probability as well, to some extent, right?
Right. But then the next one is general AI, which will be like us. So he poses, Jeff Hawkins poses that the way to do that is when you merge robotics and AI together, because you need to learn spatially. So he says if you see a child, they go touching things around and interacting with the world, and that is how they learn, right? And that's how we learn with this spatial and data collection. So the merging of both, and if you go to NVIDIA, that's what they're doing. If you go to NVIDIA, they are putting together robotics and AI together with this alternative, or what is not you know what I'm talking about, right? Like it is not what is it? I just lost my train of thought. Well, not a train of thought, but the word. Multiple computing at the same time.
Wish I could help you.
It's okay. So anyway, it's happening.
You're way too smart.
I was going to say, you're just thinking on a different level.
Yeah.
So it is happening. So
Yeah.
with again, if you go to any NVIDIA right now, that's what's happening.
So you would say some of the difference, like generative versus general, is actual experience versus data. Like generative is more like I'm collecting data, I'm collecting information, but what differentiates us as human beings is the spatial experience. That we have an actual experience outside of just the data collection, sort of the word-based, vocabulary-based, concept-based data collection. we have experiences. We feel the wind,
Yes.
the rain,
Yes.
the cold, the
Yes.
heat. We feel the table when we
Yes.
bump into it. So there's like a next level dimensional experience that isn't happening with just a computer
Correct.
sitting there collecting
Correct.
data
Correct.
and statistics.
Yes.
Mm.
And general AI will define it. They will define it. They meaning Kurzweil and Hawkins will define it as when general AI happens, machines are conscious.
Mm.
In consciousness, they are defining consciousness as you just said, it is a cumulative of experiences that creates who you are.
Does it include the idea of self-awareness as
Mhm.
consciousness?
Yes.
Because that's what I've read in a lot of things.
Yes.
When you become aware of yourself,
Yes.
which is why many people posit that many animals are not conscious.
Right.
But there's a debate about it.
Correct.
That some animals are not conscious because they're not self-aware of their existence.
Yes.
Whereas there's some gray area in some animals, higher intelligence
Jellyfish.
animals, or dolphins, or apes, things like that. That
Right.
there's a certain level of self-awareness, possibly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was meaning that jellyfish are not self-aware. They just exist.
Oh, I wonder. I don't know. Maybe they are. Who
I don't
knows?
know.
They're like floating out there, going, "I'm a jellyfish. I'm a jellyfish."
So anyway, so yes, general AI, and that's what it is. So, and again, so the definition of consciousness for them, it is, especially Hawkins on the Thousand Brains is the cumulative, that you can remember and recall things that you did 2 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, 10 years ago, whatever long you have been living. That is that you can recall of that, and that experiences shapes who you are. That is consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he says, again, Hawkins says that if there's anything else to define consciousness out of that definition, the burden of proof is upon those who claim that there is something more.
Mm.
So, if we are, let's say, church people, and we say there's the image of God, where it's the burden of proof is upon us to say what does that mean and what does that mean and how does that look like. They don't go into that. And I wanted to read some. And all of them say, again, Kurzweil, Hawkins. I don't know if Michio Kaku says it, but maybe in a little while, and in ways, maybe not explicitly but implicitly, that this is not necessarily a bad thing, right? That this is kind of the next step that we're supposed to take as humans. And
they just see it as part of the evolution of human
part
beings.
of what it is, yes. And then the other thing is going to be come up with ethical questions about these when these machines, robots, are conscious in that definition, and say you have an interaction with them. Say you come and are your healthcare providers or your keepers or whatever, they are in your house. And also they said that there's going to be many shapes of kind of a Star Wars, there's many shapes of androids, and they said there's going to be like that. There's many different shapes, forms. So anyway, when you start to interact, and when they can, then that definition of consciousness, you decide not to turn them on again. Are you committing suicide? Are you committing homicide?
Mm-hmm.
Are you terminating a life?
Mm-hmm.
So all those ethical questions are coming up. So anyway,
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think that I think that it is for us as as a church people. I think that we have to come up with very good answers about what makes a human human. Who
Technology.
It saw something, and this is why it's scary.
It's gonna kill us all.
I mean, it was my dishwasher, but then it murdered me.
There you go. All right.
And we're back.
We're back. And yes, what a human is a human. What makes us us. And if we want to define, the human image of God. Image of God, we need to define that as well. because we, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So maybe to conclude this time, what about
Yeah. Leave us with a thought.
thought. This is from Arthur C. Clarke. This is from the book of The Thinking Machine, Henson Huang, NVIDIA. And Arthur Clarke speaking to the BBC, even before co-writing the screenplay for 2001, the movie, Clarke had entertained the possibility that machines might someday learn faster than humans. And he says the following, he quotes again, Arthur C. Clarke. The most intelligent inhabitants of the future world won't be men or monkeys. They'll be machines, the remote descendants of today's computers. Now, the present-day electronic brains are complete morons, but this will not be true in another generation. They will start to think, and eventually they will completely outthink their makers. Is this depressing? I don't see why it should be. We superseded the Cro-Magnon and the Neanderthal men, and we presume we are an improvement. I think we should regard it as a privilege to be stepping stones to higher things. I suspect that organic or biological evolution has about come to its end, and we are now at the beginning of inorganic or mechanical evolution, which will be thousands of times swifter.
Fascinating. So that was very helpful context for us in this episode. So when we talk again, we'll talk more about like the ethical implications and some of the practical applications of AI and technology. So it was good seeing you all. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Peace.
You gotta hit the easy button.
That was easy.
Was it though?
No.
I was drinking my chai.